this opportunity. So that's essentially why the mafia, like, always kind of cashes in when shit is being criminalized. You know what I mean? Wasn't the mafia mean to LGBT people even though they got money from them? Yeah, they would blackmail them. They'd be like, we know you're gay and we'll tell your boss and your wife if you don't give us some money. Was kind of their wavelength. The mafia. Oh no, did the stream stop working for anyone else? It dropped to 0 viewers for a second. It dropped to 0 viewers, but then now it's back. So I think, I don't know, maybe my Wi-Fi cut out or something. Am I back now? Have I returned? Oh my god. Oh my god. And the chat is being weird. We're really driving the struggle bus right now. Okay, back for me. It glitched, but you're good now. Okay, I think we just need to refresh. I have an ad. Fucking, I hate the ads. Okay, that was weird. That was very weird, and I didn't like it. Okay, so yeah, the mafia, basically, when someone is being criminalized, the mafia is like, I can get you that thing if you just give me some fucking money. And that is how the mafia gets more powerful. So when the mafia saw that gay people were not the stream being homophobic, we have had a lot of issues. Like, I'm not one to be dramatic. Well, that's not true. I'm not one to be dramatic, but like, we've been having issues. Not the mafia hacking the stream. Nobody move. Nobody move. It was Kamala trying to shut us down. It was. Is she in the mafia? Emriel, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to my channel. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. Or no, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. You're not only on the U.S. government watch list, you're on a mafia watch list. LMAO with nobody move. Thank you. I thought that was really funny. I was kind of proud of that one. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's talk about what actually happened at the Stonewall Inn. You're going to get a visit from the mafia asking for money because you don't keep their secrets. I can literally go to them and be like, do you want the, like, $80 a month I make on Twitch? Like, you can have it. You can have the whole $80. Sydney Morjohn, thanks for resubscribing. Currently 3 months on a 2-month streak. We love that. I'm finally a laptop watching so I can chat now. Oh my god, welcome. Miss Redacted, I'm not a dramatic person, is the most dramatic person I know. Why would you say that? Because that's not true. Did you see that TikTok about a random middle-aged woman on the ISIS watch list and the FBI had to call her and tell her? She shared the wrong Facebook meme. That has to be what it is. Or she has the same name as someone, maybe. Oh, I would be freaking out. Does anyone know if it costs anything to resubscribe with Prime? I don't know. If you're worried about money, don't do it. Like, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I should, like, just don't. Well, we can all still vibe out together. Unless you're really emotionally attached to the emotes, then I'll let you make that call. But let's talk about the Stonewall Inn. So basically, all these, like, criminals, the civic one being the Genovese crime family, controlled most Greenwich Prime subscriptions are always free to you. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Emriel. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't charge me with Prime. Oh my god, we love that. I love how everyone was so helpful. Everyone just jumped on that question and answered. Weird. Sorry. I got distracted. So the Stonewall Inn was registered as a private bottle bar, which did not require a liquor license because the patrons were supposed to bring their own liquor. So I'm not really sure how that's a profitable business model. Like, is there a cover fee? It seems like you're essentially just a room and you're like, y'all can hang out here. Like, bring some booze and y'all can hang out. Like, it seems like is really what it is, more so than a bar. Club attendees had to sign their name upon entry to maintain the club's false exclusivity. So I think they were like, a BYOB bar sounds like a terrible deal. Yeah, exactly. Like, I can do that at my house. It's literally the cornfields we hung out in high school. Yeah, I got, like, very few gathering places, but, like, y'all couldn't provide hors d'oeuvres or something? Like, it just doesn't seem like they're trying to make it good, you know? Not the BYOB bar in the 60s in New York City. So I mean, like, I get they had limited resources, but, like, you couldn't get, like, a karaoke machine or nothing? Do they at least have food? I don't think so. Like, that's what I mean. Like, they're giving nothing. Like, you're just a room. That's not a business. It's just a room. So, the crime family, Genovese, I'm, like, afraid to say them. Like, what if they're still active? You guys kind of scared me a little bit of that, bribed the New York 6 police precincts to ignore the activities in the club. So basically, not even like Prohibition era, it's giving community center. Sorry, where I go to vote is in the senior community center, and I love it there. I'm gonna start hanging out there, to be honest, because every time there's always old people fighting about like bingo and card games and shit, and it's so funny to watch the old people fighting, and it's literally just a room. Like, they're just hanging out in a room is all it is, and that's like the same vibe check. Without police interference, the crime family could cut cost how they see fit. My polling station is a random garage. That is very sketchy. The big guys are all in jail, don't worry. The club lacked a fire exit. They did not have running water behind the bar to wash the glasses, the clean toilets that didn't overflow, and palatable drinks that weren't watered down beyond recognition. So this lesson turned into us mocking the bar itself. Yeah, because, like, this sucks. Like, are they not embarrassed? Like, if I was in the crime family and I found out we were running an establishment like this, I'd be like, this is fucking embarrassing. This is embarrassing. We don't have running water. We don't have running water. Who do we think we're fooling? Who do we think we're fooling? This is why everyone knows it's the crime family, because they're being fucking obvious. Like, I'd be embarrassed. Like, if I was the crime family's, like, niece or whatever, I'd be like, not on my watch. I'm the manager now. We're getting fucking running water in toilets. I do not care. Did they not learn from the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire? One thing about America is we will never learn from the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire, and I stand by that statement. We continuously do not learn from that. Again and again. We just don't learn. Look how far gay bars have come now. Now everyone wants what we have. I'd be so embarrassed if I overflew the toilet, even though I did it in school once. I thought I did it at work today, and I wanted to cry, but then it went. It was fine. But yeah, so this is what the Stonewall Inn was. The way the Triangle Shirtwaist Building is a part of NYU now is crazy. I would not want to live in that dorm. What do they do? What do they use that building for? What's the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire? Okay, so side topic, but it's an interesting topic. I should do a stream about it. There was this factory, and it was in like the 1800s, like the 1890s or something like that, in New York. And this is like workers had no rights. Like, I know now we feel like we have no rights, but it used to be way worse. So they would like lock all the women in there and be like, you have to fucking sew, bitch. You can't go outside. So there were like no fire exits and stuff. I think it was 1910. Oh, I was close. I'm late, but I'm excited. Well, we've barely started. But anyway, there were, like, they would lock the women inside, and they had no fire exits and shit like that. And it was mainly, like, poor immigrant young women that worked there, and, like, a lot of them didn't speak English. They didn't have, like, workers' rights. They were working, like, 7 days a week, like, very much terrible. And there was a fire, and a bunch of them, and it, like, they totally, if the doors hadn't have been locked, they could have totally gotten out, but a bunch of them, like, died and burned in there, and a bunch of them, like, jumped out the windows, and it was, like, very, very, very much sad, and it made people, it kind of, like, woke people up, and it helped unions, like, unionize and like help fight for workers' rights, because they were like, look at what happened, like, they don't treat us like people, like, they lock us up and just left us there to die. And a lot got trapped in the elevators. Yeah, that too. So like, it was just kind of like a important historic moment in the workers' rights movement, because it like woke up a lot of people to how dangerous the workforce was and how like badly workers were being treated on like a mass level. So that's what the Shirtwaist Factory fire is. The way we also learned nothing about fire codes until a school fire in the 1950s. It was the most devastating incident in New York till 9/11, just to put that into context. Ooh, that's a good fact. Not, well, no, it's not, but you know what I mean? Like, it like makes you think about it in a good way. Yeah, it's very much sad. But back to Stonewall, other things happening in New York much, much later. Oh, here's a meme. I should have had this on while we were just like talking and chatting. I'll leave it up there for a second and we can keep talking and chatting now. That really puts things into perspectives. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a good fact. I'm going to let you all enjoy this meme and hang out in the chat for a second while I turn my light on, because I forgot to again, because I'm just so incredible and amazing. So please don't leave. Please entertain yourself. I feel like my hair looks good right now. Like, I thought it was greasy, but I feel like it's very much giving. Like, I did it when I did it. Can you do a stream about the molasses slide in Boston of the late 1800s? I'm adding that to the list. I don't have a plan for Wednesday. That might be the plan. That might be the plan. Oh, fuck. I went to the doctor today and they treated me fucking horribly. And the guy, like, made me talk about why I have PTSD. And it was, like, very much not a vibe. And I need to email the fucking manager and be like, yeah, you should not just ask people why they have PTSD in the middle of the workday. Because they literally told me, they're like, you need to come in and we need to take your blood pressure to rewrite your prescription. And then he was like, why do you have PTSD? And I was like, I've already discussed that with a psychiatrist. I don't feel comfortable discussing it now. And then he was like, it was very much bad. Let me write this down, though. Stream ideas, the molasses slide in Boston. I just got a medical bill today of $400 for a 20-minute visit. Nothing like getting your blood pressure checked and talking about PTSD. Literally, I was like, can you just fucking write down the numbers? Because now my blood pressure's high. Thanks. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I don't know what I want to do next week. Oh, I already did Dust Bowl and Depression. Oh, Y2K, that's a good one too. Okay, wait, let me go turn the light off. Or on, I mean. God, I almost just knocked everything over. Hold on. Okay, I've returned. Have you done the 1904 Olympic Marathon? No, I don't know. What happened there? Like, I'm assuming it's noteworthy in some way. Also, I don't have a meme picked out, so if you see a meme that you think should be the thumbnail meme, let me know. Ben, be quiet while she's gone. Everyone be quiet. We make a candy. Oh, the chat is broken. Thank you for telling me. I really need to very much get my shit together with that. Chat is very broken. Chat is very much broken. She's broken. Ooh, Waco. Waco's so sad, though. I don't think I could do that one. Those poor kids. It's terrible, you know? Little Ash, thank you for the follow. Love that for us. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is where the Stonewall Inn is. It's right near Washington Square Park. You can see there it is compared to Central Park. This is the route of the first Pride March. It started at Stonewall. Spoiler alert for the end of the lesson. Here's what it looked like. It was so difficult to find pictures of it just because obviously like people didn't really take pictures like that back then. That map means nothing to me. It was the first one that ever happened. Yes. So it was hard to find pictures, but you can see here some pictures. Here's some people hanging out outside the club. Here is a picture, Stonewall Inn. You can see, can we DM you stream ideas on Twitter or something? Yeah, feel free to. You can DM me anything on Twitter. I mean, don't DM me like anything creepy, but like, yeah. So yeah. Here's what the Stonewall Inn looked like. So, what was it like there? Like we talked about, it was, like, very much not a vibe. Like, it was kind of the only place where you could vibe, but it was, like, dirty and kind of, like, falling apart and, like, really not great. Drinks were overpriced and watered down, and often with bootlegged liquor. There was no running water. The bar's 2 dark rooms were uncomfortably stuffy and hot. It was a dive bar, one in which the city's LGBT population felt comfortable and at home. One patron said the bar itself was a toilet, but it was a refuge. It was a temporary refuge from the street. Exactly. So people don't hang out there because it's like, oh, it's the cool fucking place. Like, people hang out there because it's a refuge from the street where they can, like, be themselves and be safe and hug their partner and, like, whatever they want to do and live their life, you know. It's camp. Y'all aren't listening to Dollop. It's a great American podcast by 2 communist comedians. Ooh. Dirty dive bar. How are the drinks overpriced? It's BYOB. So I think it was both because I read both things. So I think it was like they were registered as a BYOB, but they had these overpriced shitty drinks as well to make money, like under the tables is what I gathered from my research. Is like it's BYOB, but it's like, hey, do you want a $30 rum and coke that won't even get you drunk? Is like more of the vibe check. So it was quickly became an important institution in the neighborhood. It was large and pretty cheap to enter. It welcomed drag queens who received a better reception at other gay bars and clubs. So it was one of the only ones that also accepted like drag queens and transgender youth, especially like in this area. It was a nightly home for many runaways and homeless gay youths who panhandled or shoplifted to afford the entry fee. So you can see it's really like a staple to these people, like these runaway youths. It's like, this is home. Like, I have to panhandle every day to come home at night, and like, this is my home. Just like New York now, the city never changes. How sweet. Me acting like I go to bars in New York. New York's expensive. And it was one of the few, if not the only gay bar that allowed dancing. Because remember, dancing's illegal. It's the dirty dancing town if you're gay. Raids were still a fact of life, but usually corrupt cops would tip off mafia-run bars before they occurred, allowing the owners to stash the alcohol, exactly like so it was sold without a liquor license, and hide other illegal activities. In fact, the NYPD had stormed Stonewall Inn just a few days before the actual Stonewall happened. Fuck the mafia for doing the least when they could be making the most. Yeah, like, they could have made this place nice. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard. Cops when crime happens. Cops when lesbians hold hands and drink margaritas. This is my top contender for the meme, I think. Or for the thumbnail. Let me know what we're thinking. Let me know. No cops at Pride. I don't really have an... Well, I do have an opinion about that, but I'm not gay, so it's like... I'm not really going to be like, this is what I think we should do. Like, class pick. This is a good one. I support this one. I thought this was a good one, too. Class pick. Okay, let's do it. Let's rock it. Everyone, smile. Let me fix my hair. I'm wearing the liberal shirt, where it's like, in this house, we believe science is real. Black lives matter. I'm wearing, like, the liberal shirt. Isn't that embarrassing? Okay. Love the ACAB. We're going to do another one. Let me get closer to the camera. Smile. Man, this is like low-key hard. Okay. We might do more later. I like the pride emojis. Yay. Okay, so the Stonewall Riots began. It's June 27th, 1969. The police raided the inn on June 28th, so it was like midnight, you know what I'm saying? I think the pink background is very in theme for this month. I agree. I also like the pink background. I'm very much into this. I also feel like, because I'm not like in a common area with my fucking roommate that I hate, like being near me, I feel like I'm more comfortable and more open, even though like the space isn't as better and I'm not as like physically comfortable. I don't really care that much, you know? Pride. Okay, so after midnight on an unseasonably hot Friday night, the Stonewall was packed with when 8 plainclothes or undercover police officers, 6 men and 2 women entered the bar. So, oh wait, that's the wrong one. Entered the bar. In addition to the bar employees, they also singled out drag queens and other cross-dressing patrons for arrest. In New York, masquerading... I cannot stop burping. I miss Mike in the note, but I'll survive. Yeah, me too. In New York, masquerading as a member of the opposite sex was a crime, and officers would take suspected cross-dressing patrons in the bathroom to check their sex. So, me realizing that the cops were literally just sexually assaulting people there. That's, like, very much not a vibe. I think it was only the female cops, but still, that's still not a vibe, you know what I mean? Not to derail the convo, but could you do a stream about the West Virginia Coal Wars? Yeah, let me write that down. We're never derailing the convo. Coal Wars. Okay. Immediately no, gross. No, exactly. And then this was the other meme that I was looking for. Like, the plainclothes police officer, I have a feeling they stuck the fuck out. Like, I have a feeling they were very much obvious. Like, I have a feeling these plainclothes police officers were extremely obvious. No way that was constitutional, but then again, you know, the Constitution, I feel like our government just kind of uses when it's convenient for them. Like, if something is constitutional, they're like, this is your constitutional right, and we're protecting it. But then if they want to break the Constitution, they're like, whatever. It's kind of the energy I'm getting. Look at these cops at this music festival, though. So the bar patrons started to defend themselves against these police officers because more NYPD officers arrived on foot and in 3 patrol cars. Meanwhile, bar patrons who had been released joined crowds of onlookers that were forming outside Stonewall. A police van arrived, and police began loading Stonewall employees and cross-dressers inside. Also, the term cross-dressers is, like, very much outdated, but this is a historical context, so you get why I'm using it, and that's, like, not the term you would use today, unless that's what someone requested. Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page with that. Accounts vary over exactly what kicked off the riots, but according to witness reports, the crowd erupted after police roughed up a woman who was dressed in masculine attires. Some people believe it was this person, Stormy Delavarie. Sorry to interrupt, but the chat is broken. You're all good. You're all good. Don't apologize for interrupting. Don't apologize. You don't have to be sorry for existing here. Sir. Ma'am. Whatever. Okay. Save. Woohoo. Okay. So basically one of the people that got arrested complained her handcuffs were too tight, so people started taunting the police officer, yelling pigs, throwing pennies at them, followed by bottles, and someone in the crowd slashed tires of police vehicles. Not the BLT community out and about. Wait, did I like copy and paste something wrong? Was it me? I don't know. Maybe it was someone in the chat. You need to tell Miss Redacted about that one other teacher. I feel like I'm so disconnected from the chat right now. Let me focus. So, people are starting to throw bottles, throw items at the police. Things are starting to escalate. And according to David Carter, the historian and author of Stonewall, the riots that sparked the gay revolution, the hierarchy of resistance in the riots began when the homeless or street kids, these young gay men who viewed Stonewall as the only safe place in their lives. So that's who was outside, that kind of like, I guess, was going for it. And 2 transgender women of color, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, were said to have resisted arrest and thrown the first bottle or brick or stone at the cops. But Johnson said later that she had not arrived until the uprising was well underway. So, tire slasher deserves to go to heaven. So yeah, like some people are saying, oh yeah, Marsha P. Johnson threw the first brick, but then later she said that she didn't. So it's hard. There was no cell phones. There's no camera footage. But they were there. Everybody was there. The exact breakdown of who did what first becomes unclear. What I was just saying, there's minimal documentation. So LGBT bar goers, I feel like now, I've seen so many acronyms in the chat. I, don't know what acronyms, all the letters are mixing together. Bar goers after getting raided by the pigs for the 7th time that month when they were doing nothing wrong. Imagine, getting raided by the cops that often. Y'all don't have something better to fucking do? I can hear the gif. Good. I debated putting a video, but I couldn't really figure out how to do that, easily and effectively. Because it's the same. That's probably more accurate. If you can't go to Bella Noche's, then where the hell can you go? Exactly. It's if you can't go to the gay bar safely, where the hell can you go? Literally. In New York at this time. That's literally what's happening. So, quick detour to talk about Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. You should read Quarter Life Crisis's story. Oh, fuck. Email it to me. I want to read it, but it's too late. I have to catch up in the chat, and it scrolls back, and then I can't see anybody, and it looks weird on my end. Okay, so Marsha P. Johnson was born in 1945 in New Jersey. She was identified male at birth, but enjoyed wearing clothing made for girls, and after she was sexually assaulted, she stopped wearing the clothes she loved and felt most comfortable in. But then she moved to New York with only $15 and a bag of clothes, and she began dressing almost exclusively in women's clothes and adopted the full name Marsha P. Johnson. The P stood for Pay It No Mind. To her, this was a life motto in response to the question about her gender. So when anyone would be like, are you a man? Are you a woman? What are you? She would just say, pay my gender no mind, NBD, don't even worry about it. So today, historians and former friends of Marsha describe her as a trans woman. During her lifetime, that was not a commonly used term, and so Marsha described herself as a gay person, a transvestite, and a drag queen, and used she, her pronouns. So, now the term would be transgender, but she didn't refer to herself that way if you read, her writings and stuff. She was a part of the growing community of LGBTQ youth throughout the 50s and 60s in New York. We said, lots of things were illegal, dancing, all the things. The bi vegans are angry. Oh god. Still don't know how she found out. I'm obviously queer. Oh my god, the chat is so much right now. So much is happening. I'm so behind. Marcia, oh wait, hold on, I lost my spot. It was difficult for Marcia to find work. She realized the fastest way to make money was to hustle. This meant working as a sex worker. A lot of these people were working as sex workers for the same reason, because of employment discrimination. The work, due to stigmatization, is incredibly dangerous. She was often alone with strangers in hotel rooms and cars. Sometimes strangers were violent. On multiple occasions, she had guns pulled on her and was even shot one time. Sex work, still don't know how she found out. Oh, the Marsha P. Johnson really said whatever about gender. Yeah, she was like, I don't care. She's like, I'm not worried about it. Sorry, I was replying to Quarter Life Crisis story. It's okay. I like that you all are having your little convo. I'm kind of jealous, but enjoy yourselves. So Marcia spent most of her life without a permanent home, slept in hotel rooms, restaurants, and movie theaters, sometimes lived with friends. Even when she found work waiting tables or performing in drag shows, she still made most of her money as a sex worker. Not long after arriving in New York, 17-year-old Marcia met 11-year-old Sylvia Rivera. So I was struggling to find information, but I think Sylvia Rivera had kind of been like alone out in the world since age 11, and then Marsha P. Johnson was kind of like her mentor, I guess, and like her like big sister, maybe, I don't know, just based on like the age difference. So Sylvia Rivera was born in 1951 in New York to a father from Puerto Rico and a mother from Venezuela, was assigned male at birth and was given the name Ray. Rivera had an incredibly difficult childhood. Father was absent and mother died by unaliving herself, unfortunately, when Rivera was only 3 years old. So, raised by her grandmother, Rivera began experimenting with clothing and makeup at a young age, was beaten for doing so, and after they were attacked on a school playground in sixth grade by another student and suspended from school for a week, they ran away oh God, I'm so tongue-twisted today. Another student suspended from school for a week. Rivera ran away from home at age 11 and became a victim of sexual exploitation around 42nd Street. So, it seems like Sylvia Rivera had been on their own on the streets of New York since age 11. Yep, she keeps missing it. Wait, did I miss something? What did I miss? You should read Quarter Life Crisis' story. I know, she needs to add it on the little thingy. On the thing, and I'll do I'll put it in the stream. So, the two became instant friends. Marcia saw Sylvia, I cannot read. Marcia taught Sylvia how to apply makeup, live on the streets, and look out for trouble. Also encouraged Sylvia to love herself and find her identity. Marcia enjoyed expressing herself through appearance, very much lavish outfits with the glitter and the like flowers and the finds from thrift stores and all the things. Very much like showy, dazzling camp is the best way to describe it. Marcia's life changed dramatically when she found herself near the Stonewall Inn on the early hours of June 28th, 1969. That night, police raided the gay bar, and the patrons fought back. While there's many conflicting stories about the start, it's clear that Marsha P. Johnson was on the front lines. In one account, she started the uprising by throwing a shot glass at a mirror. In another, she climbed a lamppost and dropped a heavy purse onto a police car, shattering the window. Young trans women like Marsha were particularly vocal that night because they felt they had nothing left to lose. Their rage was not just about the police, it was about the oppression and fear they felt every single day. So, yeah, the amount of gay children that arrived in New York throughout the last 20th century is upsetting. Like, children, if y'all haven't watched Paris is Burning, please do. Always with the movies, you always get it. And then here's some pictures of both of these individuals here. So you can see this is Marsha P. Johnson, like I said, with the flowers, all of that. Here is Sylvia Rivera. This is a more recent photo. Like, that was later in life, I think. And both of them like really struggled throughout their lives, like financially and with like, I know Sylvia Rivera was living on the streets. Like, I saw a documentary with her living on the streets and she was like in her 60s, I think. I don't know if she's still alive or not. There's a more zoomed in picture. This is like a famous photo of Marsha P. Johnson. Here's a more close up photo of them protesting in the streets. And then I just added this respect sex workers, because I think a lot of people, are very like judgmental and very discriminatory and very like harsh, I guess, to sex workers. And a lot of people don't realize that like sex workers have led the front in a lot of ways. Like when we talked about sex workers like out west and settling the West and like building up the economy out there and like all that stuff. Like, sex work is work and they should get respect. It's a very dangerous job because it's so criminalized. So back to the Stonewall Inn where we left off, the things were starting to escalate. People were starting to throw things at the police. So the police barricade themselves inside at 4 a.m. They could really only take the heat for a couple of hours. And as the police van and squad cars arrived to drop off the prisoners at the nearby 6th Precinct, the growing mob forced the NYPD raiding party to retreat into the Stonewall itself, barricading themselves inside, and some rioters used a parking meter as a battering ram to break through the door. So the police barricaded themselves inside the Stonewall Inn. They came there unprompted and uncalled and then barricaded themselves inside. That is colonization. Like, you stole the building. So fucking useless. Actual real-life historic photo of the NYPD barricading themselves in the Stonewall Inn. This is a real photo that was taken that night. It's not. I found it on Google Images, and it was not taken that night. Literally ACAB. Yeah, absolutely. Y'all already know the vibes. But yeah, so some rioters used the parking meter, and they made impromptu fire bombs and matches and lighter fluid. They said, we want to shut this place down, but we'll hide in it. Pissed themselves. Oh yeah, no, it's not real. Sorry. I'm sure one of them did. And then this photograph is like really the only thing I could find of like actual fighting, and this was actually the next night. It was 2 nights, but I wanted to show you at least what the fighting looked like. And like, this is the only picture I could find. And that's so creepy. This dude's eyes, like the way they came up. It seems cops haven't changed in decades. Yeah, for real. Watching from Australia and cannot believe this shit is real. Oh my God, Australia. Love your country. Here's some other accounts for that night, or from that night. We all had a collective feeling like we've had enough of this kind of shit. It wasn't, oh, this is from Michael Fader, by the way. It wasn't anything tangible, anything anybody said to anyone else. It was just kind of like everyone all over the years had come to a head on that one particular night in the one particular place. It was not an organized demonstration. Everyone in the crowd felt that we were never going to go back. Like this was the last straw. It was time to reclaim something that had always been taken from us. OMG, literally American history must be wild to other countries. Other countries watch this stream like it's a reality show. They're like, what's America up to this week? All kinds of people, all different reasons, but mostly it was total outrage, anger, sorrow, and everything combined. We just kind of everything just kind of ran its course. It was the police who were doing most of the destruction. We were really trying to get back in and break free, and what we felt was freedom at last, or freedom at least to show that we demanded freedom. We weren't going to be walking meekly in the night and letting them shove us around. It's like standing your ground for the first time in a really strong way. That's what really caught the police by surprise. There was something in the air, freedom of a long time overdue, and we're going to fight for it. It took different forms, but bottom line was we weren't going to go away, and we didn't. So that is written by someone who was there. It makes me compare it to my own country. Yeah, I could see that. More accounts from that night. Garbage cans, garbage, bottles, rocks, and bricks were hurled at the building, breaking the windows. Witness attests that flame queens and hustlers and street kids, the most outcast people in the gay community, were responsible for the first volley of projectiles, as well as uprooting the parking meter and using it as a battering ram, meaning like they used it to break into the building. Sylvia Rivera, self-identified street queen, remembered, "You've been treating us like shit all these years. Nuh-uh, now it's our turn. It was one of the greatest moments of my life." The mob lit garbage on fire and stuffed it through broken windows as the police grabbed a fire hose, but because it had no water pressure, because the mafia didn't have running water. Maybe they were thinking in 4D with that one. Who knows? Maybe they were ahead of all of us. We were talking all that shit earlier. A parking meter, gay rage is something else. We were talking all that shit about the no running water, but low-key kind of worked. The mafia coming in clutch. I love gay people. Let me focus. So, because the hose had no water pressure, the hose was ineffective at dispersing the crowd and only seemed to encourage them. When the violence broke out, women and transmasculine people were being held down the street at the Women's House of Detention joined in by chanting and setting fire to their belongings and tossing them in the street below. So these people at the Women's House of Detention, which I'm guessing is like a prison, were like, fuck yeah, and started like throwing their shit out the windows onto the cops as well. As the historian Hugh Ryan writes, when I talked to people about Stonewall, they would tell me that night on Stonewall, we looked to the prison and saw women rioting and chanting gay rights, gay rights, gay rights. Imagine the energy in the air that day with like the prisoners chanting gay rights and the police not having anything and being incompetent and like people taking back their power. Like imagine the energy that was in the air. Would be very powerful. I don't do well at things like this. I don't do well with loud noises and crowds of people. This is not really I can't attend anything of this nature. But I'm sure it was quite electrifying. I'm sure it was. This is a view of a damaged jukebox and cigarette machine along with a broken chair inside the Stonewall Inn. It would have been incredible to witness. Yeah, so I live like in a high rise, and when there was a protest after the last June 2020, after the George Floyd murder happened, and like in the coming days after that, like you remember that window, there's like a lot of protests going on. During that time, I live in a high rise and I could like see everything, and it was like really scary, and like there were like helicopters and stuff. It was very like, that is seared in my memory forever, seeing that happen. And I saw like the police like throwing bomb, like the smoke tear bomb things at people. It was like really like a lot. I think this is one crowd moment I would have loved to witness. What would have been incredible to witness. Yeah. I wish I could like go back and watch history. Like I wish I could pick like, oh, I wish this was filmed. I want to see it. So sirens then announced the arrival of the Tactical Patrol Force, which was the city's riot police. So now the regular police have called the riot police because the regular police who showed up here again, uncalled, unprompted, can't handle it. Like imagine showing up and being like, oh my God, I can't do it. The cops calling Tactical Patrol Force even though they showed up to the scene unprompted. Like, what is wrong with you? Regular police were pussies. Normally I don't like to use the word pussy as an insult because like it makes humans. So it's like pretty strong, but I will grant an approval for this one. I want an immersive POV history thing. I think I would be into video games if it was that. I asked my boyfriend to find me some. He wanted me to play video games with him, and I just can't do that. Like, my brain just doesn't like them. And so I was like, if you find some historically accurate ones, I will play with you. Then and only then. So the TPF of the NYPD arrived to free the police trapped inside the Stonewall. They could have left. They could have just gone home. Like, if I was the captain of that police force, which, like, ew, I could never. But if I was the captain of that police force, I'd be like, this was very embarrassing. We're gonna go, and we will never be discussing this again. I'd be like, we're just gonna head on out, because this is embarrassing for us. The police took a giant L that night. Yeah, literally. So the fact that they were like, oh, we need backup, like, I would have just left. I would have been like, free the police who locked themselves inside after breaking in. That's literally like if I went up to your apartment, kicked you out, and then laid on the couch and then called the cops and was like, someone's banging on the door, like, really loud. Like, it's literally 9 o'clock at night and they're banging on the door very, very loud. Like, that's essentially what the police just did at the Stonewall Inn. So they arrived to free the police that trapped themselves inside. One officer's eye was cut and a few other were bruised from the flying debris. I also feel like they're probably being dramatic. Like, I feel like someone probably had like a little cut right here and like little bruises, and they were like, I've been attacked. The drag queens have attacked me. Like, I feel like a first aid kit would have been more than enough. We didn't need the Tactical Patrol Force. Yet these idiots get all the funding instead of schools. Bruise, get real. I get bruises from everything. Also, like, you really called for a bruise? Like, imagine when the person got there. Free the police who locked themselves inside. Try Assassin's Creed. How did any of them show their faces after this? Bob Kohler, who was walking his dog by the Stonewall that night. This is literally me in every circumstance. I swear to you, I end up at the weirdest shit. And I'm like, oh, this is important. He saw the TPF arrived and he said, also this sentence. I had been in enough riots to know. What's Bob's backstory? I need to know Bob's backstory, because why have you been in enough riots to know? I've been in enough riots to know. Why? I've been in enough riots to know the fun was over that night. The cops were totally humiliated. This never ever happened. They were angrier than I guess they'd ever been because everybody else had rioted, but the fairies were not supposed to riot. No group had ever forced cops to retreat before, so the anger was enormous. I mean, they wanted to kill. Oh, sorry, I forgot to delete the citation here. Necessary stream is on Bob Kohler. I find his grandson and interview him. I messed up my hand working in Parks and Rec, and I'm not being dramatic, like a cop with a baby bruise. It's not funny, but it's truly so comical. It really is, because, a bruise, and they checked everybody. They were like, no one has broken bones. No one has a sprain. They checked everybody up and down, and we're like, what is the most intense injury we have here that we can complain about? And bruise. An eye cut. And a bruise. That's what, when you read the accounts that were the gays were not being violent towards the police. They were just trying to get back inside. That's evidence that, the police didn't really get hurt. So is it a riot then? I don't know. I feel like once you have flames being thrown, it can be categorized as a riot, even if it's a not particularly person-on-person violent one. Give him a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. He wants to be a pansy so badly. With larger numbers, police detained anyone they could and put them in patrol wagons to go to jail, although Inspector Pine recalled fights erupted with the transvestites who wouldn't go in the patrol wagon, again, term of the time. His recollection was also corroborated by another witness across the street who said, all I could see about who was fighting, and it was the transvestites, and they were fighting furiously. So they were not trying to get arrested, which is valid. So, if you were truly in an emergency, who would you want to show up to the scene? If you want to vote in this, I just put the link in the chat for you to join the Nearpod. If you were truly in an emergency, you were being robbed, you were being mugged, it was really bad, who would you prefer to be there? The cops or a group of gay bar patrons? I know which one I'm voting for. Yeah, so far a group of gay bar patrons is by far winning. And not that many people have voted, though. Oh my god, not that many people are on the Nearpod today. Interesting, very interesting. I guess it's Monday. Normally we don't do Nearpod on Monday. Drag queens and gay bar patrons all the way. Is that even a question? I mean, oh my god, there you are. I just took a second on the Nearpod. Yeah, I haven't been using it for as many of its Nearpod functionalities as much recently. We are going to play the game, though. I do have the game, though. Don't worry. Cut to the I need to talk to a gay person audio. I vote for myself over the cops. Do I vote for myself over the cops? I don't know. If you look at me, I have a lot of, cop care about you privilege. You know what I mean? I feel like they would try and do something if I was being robbed, but they'd probably still fuck it up. Gays, hands down, easy question. Fuck 12. Okay, so yeah, gays hands down is winning. Not a single person voted for the cops. So, the TPF formed a phalanx. I trust an anxious chihuahua to protect me more than the police. The TPF started walking in a big group. It's basically when they all militarize together and just charge in a group, and attempted to clear the streets by marching and pushing the crowd back. So they were like, maybe if we march as a big group, all the gay people will disperse. And the mob openly mocked the police, and the crowd started cheering and started an impromptu kick line. This is a kick line. The Rockettes, the dancers, when they stand in a line and kick their leg up all in unison and dance together, that is a kick line. So the police, this is a painting, the police are militarized trying to push the crowd back, and then the gays just have a kick line, so the police start to back off because someone's kicking in their face. It's your human instinct to back up. So naturally the police freaked the fuck out, and they started singing this song. I don't know, the tune of it. The Tara Boom Da. I don't know that song, but it says, we are the Stonewall girls. We wear our hair in curls. We don't wear underwear. We show our pubic hair. And, that is objectively fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. I literally audibly gasped. Yeah, Icons. Icons. So Lucian Truscott reported in the Village Voice, a stagnant situation there brought on some gay tomfoolery. The sleigh. Oh my god, the sleigh button. I love that emote. Make this the new national anthem. Francis Scott Key could never. Francis Scott Key could never. Francis Scott Key could not. So a stagnant situation there brought on by some gay tomfoolery in the form of a chorus line facing the line of helmeted and club-carrying cops. Just as the line got into full kick routine, the TPF advanced again and cleared the crowd of screaming gay priorities down to Christopher to 7th Avenue. One participant who had been in the Stonewall during the raid recalled, the police rushed us. That's when I realized this is not a good thing to do because they got me in the back with a nightstick. So yeah, you can see the police started getting fucking violent. Like, their response to the kick line was like, let's beat the shit out of these people. I love engaging in gay tomfoolery. The cops with the nightsticks and the kick line on the other side, it was the most amazing thing. All of a sudden, that kick line, which I guess was a spoof on the machismo, and I think that's when I felt rage, because people were getting smashed with bats, and for what? A kick line. So yeah, here's that painting again. So I think this is supposed to be Marsha P. Johnson right here, I believe, with the, you see the flower right there? I think, like, I don't know, that's what it seems like to me. And then, yeah, there's the police. So, who would win? The NYPD or a kick line of gays? And the answer is violence, one, because the NYPD is trash. So I don't know if this is going to let me play or not, but this is a video where the National Park people reenact the kick line. Their Roman-era military tactics didn't work, so they just got extremely violent on an individualistic level. Checks out. That does check out for our military. So this is a YouTube video. I hope I don't get dinged for copyright, but this video only has 67 views, so I kind of think I'm doing them a favor. But this is the National Park Service. Stonewall Inn is now like a national park site, so they made this video of the kick line. So, OMG, hello, hi. So I wanted to show it to you.
On National Dance
because,
Day,
like,
Rangers at Manhattan sites highlight the kick line for its place in Stonewall National Monument
You're welcome
history.
for finding this. You're welcome.
The first night of the
I love these people.
As the tactical police force attempted to clear the area around Stonewall, they were met with resistance from an agitated and encouraged crowd of mainly LGBTQ youth who knew and loved
the National
Greenwich
Park
Village
Service.
Neighborhood. Staring down
The yesification of the National Park.
The protesters spontaneously linked arms and kicked up their legs in the rocket-style dance move. When the stunned police finally advanced, the mob dispersed through the maze-like
Her pronouns
streets and
on the video,
sidewalks,
we stand
only to
right
regroup behind the officers and continue their descent, a tactic they repeated throughout the night.
I feel like I'm being straight
Ed
explained stuff.
Martin Boyce and Jay Toole reenacted the kick line with Rangers Jamie and Ann at an event in 2019. In the following video, Martin recalls that moment from June 28th, 1969.
This person was there.
Stephen Palmer.
The scariest, craziest part of the riot was there's nothing worse in a riot than silence. And all of a sudden got silent.
The National
roar.
Park Service has always been
And the
gay
smoke from
from a
burning ash
bi
cans.
parks
And
professional.
all this damage and this silence, except for a thump. A constant thump. And then the crowd opened, and there they were, the tactical police force, dressed to meet the Black Panthers.
We don't really stand that because the Black
Shields,
Panthers didn't deserve
every
that
kind of guard you
either.
could
But, you
imagine.
know, no
And
such
they
thing
were
as a
marching
perfect
straight
video.
towards us, like the
Wanted to get that
phalanx
out
of
there.
Spartans. However, they came across the band of brothers from Thebes, you know. And we looked at them, didn't know what to do, but we were in the middle, me, Bertie, and Nazimov, and a whole bunch of people. And that's where we grabbed arms and did a kick line.
I'm trying to remember if the rest of
Stunned
this
them.
is good.
And it gave the
Okay, so I'm tired of that. But it's a long video. You can see they talk more about some of the things we just talked about. So, side note, the U.S. National Park Service is the only part of the government I trust. Like, no part of the government do I trust except the Park Service. Also, this is a question on the game. This is the question on the game, is which part of the government do I trust? And the answer is the Park Service. And here's a meme I found about the Park Service. I think like they literally posted this. Like I found it on their page. Can you post the link to the video? I want to share it with my old classmates. Absolutely.
the gays about 2 minutes grace to think what to do. Are
Hold
they
on.
going to charge?
I can get it.
They had to charge because that was their thing, but they were really stunned.
Why isn't it letting me?
They just couldn't believe that this is what they were facing.
What were you singing?
I was literally just going to tell myself this weekend I'm going to bucket list going to every park.
Girls. We wear our hair in curls. We wear our dungarees above our Nelly knees. And when it comes
Email
to
me and I
boys,
can send
we
you the
sit
video.
here, and that's where they came. I know I got hit right in the back. Scraped with the. That's where it ended on hip
Email it
toys.
or email me. I'll send you the video. Okay. But the National Park Service is the only part of the government that I fuck with. We stand the National Park Service. We love them. Also, probably someone will be like, wait, what is the Park Service? What is the Park Service? Okay, so basically the National Park Service is like, they protect the national parks and like maintain them, I guess. The newest national park was just established in West Virginia, New River Gorge, and She's Gorge. So the National Park Service, like, when I go to a national park and there's, like, a bathroom there, the National Park Service built that. When you go to a national park and there's someone to show you around, that's the National Park Service. Like, they basically just staff and maintain the national parks. They do education programs. They do community events and things like that. Like, so to me, I dropped food twice at Denali National Park and I haven't been the same since. So to me, the National Park Service is like really the only part of the government that's actually like serving the people and making the world a better place, because they protect the land as well. So like there's a lot of rules in national parks about like doing things with your trash and fires and camping and things like that. So they enforce those rules and help people make sure they're following the rules and shit like that. So moving back on to Stonewall, Craig Rodwell, the owner of the Oscar Wilde Memorial Bookshop, reported watching the police chase participants through the crooked streets, only to see them appear around the next corner behind the police. So members of the mob stopped cars, overturning them to block Christopher Street. Jack Nichols and Lag Clark, in their column-printed Screw, declared that massive crowds of angry protesters chased the police for blocks, screaming, "Catch them." So basically the like protesters went the opposite way of the police and like circled back around and started chasing them. They basically just like made a circle around the block. I wish I had like a map or something to show you. By 4 a.m., the streets had nearly been cleared. Many people sat on stoops or gathered nearby in Christopher Park throughout the morning, dazed in disbelief at what had transpired. Many witnesses remembered the surreal and eerie quiet that descended upon Christopher Street. Although there continued to be electricity in the air, one commented that there is a certain beauty in the aftermath of a riot. It was obvious, at least to me, that a lot of people were really gay, and this was our street. 13 people had been arrested. Some in the crowd were hospitalized, and 4 police were injured. So I'm guessing that's the 1 eye cut and then 3 bruises is the 4 police that were injured. Almost everything in the Stonewall Inn was broken. Inspector Pine had intended to close and dismantle the Stonewall Inn that night. Payphones, toilets, mirrors, jukeboxes, and cigarette machines were all smashed, possibly in the riot and possibly by the police. I wouldn't be surprised if the police did a lot of that shit. So the cops showing up to Stonewall, the cops after getting their energy returned. Aw, poor little pigs. Get over yourself. Do you guys know where it's like Little Piggy went to the market? Like I, for a long time, thought they meant like Publix. That's wrong. I'm sorry if I'm the one telling you that it's wrong. But I remember when I realized, I was on a plane with my mom and she realized and she told me, and I was like, oh my God. The police destroyed it because they were pissed that they got their asses beat by the gays. I'm just envisioning like the police going inside the Stonewall Inn and then barricading themselves inside the inn and then just throwing like a really traditional white boy tantrum and just like punching walls and breaking shit that they were so mad. This is my favorite meme of the night. Should this be the class photo? Should it? What are we thinking? Class photo? Yes, no, maybe so. What are our vibes? What are we thinking? How are we feeling? Okay, so Stonewall reopens the next night. Gay rights said no days off. They were like, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much. We are going to continue to be gay on this street, and you are not going to be able to do anything about it. So news of the riot spread quickly throughout the neighborhood, fueled by rumors that it had been organized by the Students for a Democratic Society or the Black Panthers, or triggered by this is the quote here, a homosexual homosexual police officer whose roommate went dancing at the Stonewall against the officer's wishes. How do we... So, like, cops are notorious for being not good partners and, like, being abusive in their romantic partnerships. How do we manage to bring that in here? Like, how did that come up? What? Their anthem that night is that TikTok sound. Ain't no one crazier than the white boys learn to fight boys or whatever the anthem said. I don't know the sound that you're talking about. But what gets me is a homosexual police officer whose roommate went dancing. I'm assuming we're using the term roommate in the way that I'm sure you're also thinking. And so they're like, you guys, we have a gay cop. Like, we have a gay cop. It's not that we're homophobic, we just don't like the dancing. And, like, he told his lover/roommate not to go dancing, and then he went dancing. So this is just a lover's quarrel. Like, this is not institutional. It's just a lover's quarrel that got out of hand. My cousin is black energy. And they were roommates. So, yeah. All day Saturday, June 28th, people came to stare at the burned and blackened Stonewall Inn. Graffiti appeared on the walls declaring drag power. They invaded our rights, support gay power, legalize gay bars, along with accusations of police looting, which I believe. And regarding the status of the bar, we are open. So they graffitied, like, we're open, bitch. Come on in and have an overpriced drink, because we're open. The next night, rioting again surrounding Christopher Street. Participants remember differently which night was more frantic or violent. Many of the same people returned from the previous night, hustlers, street youth, and queens, but they were joined by police provocateurs. They're literally daring the cops to try again. Curious bystanders, and even tourists, remarkable to many as the sudden exhibition of homosexual affection in public, described as one witness from going places where you had to knock on a door and speak to someone through a peephole in order to get in. We were just out. We were in the streets. Everyone coming back for night 2 to continue to fight the cops for the right to exist. That's, like, kind of baller that they were like, yeah, day 2, back at it, back in these streets. Back out here, loving it. Haha. And resistance continues. Would I be able to drop a few stream ideas toward the end? Yeah, wait till the end and then I'll write them all down. So, thousands of people gathered in front of Stonewall, which had opened again, choking Christopher Street until the crowd was spilling into adjoining blocks. Like, I wish we had, like, a live aerial view map to see this. The throng surrounded buses and cars, harassing the occupants unless they either admitted they were gay or indicated their support for the demonstrators. Very intense. They said, this is our neighborhood. Hello. Imagine someone knocking on your window and being like, hi, are you gay? Are you gay? Yeah, in the Toyota Camry. Are you gay? In the Camry. Yes, you. Like, I would be very overwhelmed. I'd be like, no, but you can have the Camry. You can take it. Do you want it? Do you want $10? I have cash. Like, Marsha P. Johnson, an African-American street queen, along with Zaza Nova and Jackie Hormano, was one of 3 individuals known to have been in the vanguard of the pushback against police, climbed a lamppost and dropped a heavy bag onto the hood of a police car. Like, that's another story that said they thought she did it the first night, this person saying the second night. You can see there's a lot of muddy details here. They let the Subarus through without a question. They're like, yep, come on through. I would never come out faster than a mob asking me if I were gay. I was gay. Imagine the fucking Italian mafia being like, hey, is you gay? You have to be like, I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know. On the previous evening, fires were started. Oh, this is like about the previous evening. We don't fucking care about that. Sorry, I meant to take that part out. I mean, we do care, but we like already talked about it. Poet and longtime village resident Allen Ginsberg lived on Christopher Street and happened upon the chaos. After learning of the riot occurred the previous evening, he stated, gay power isn't that great. It's about time we did something to assert ourselves, and visited the open Stonewall Inn for the first time. While walking home, he declared, you know, the guys there were so beautiful. They've lost that wounded look that all, not going to say that, had all had 10 years ago. So people that like weren't, the mob said, talk Valentina, and the bystanders answered, ally. So, yeah, basically, people were starting to support it that weren't even bar patrons at this point. Like, people that weren't the regulars that just kind of, like, knew of it were like, yeah, I want to go now. The Stonewall Inn patrons outsmarting the cops, even though the cops attacked without warning, and they literally do this for a living. That's what gets me, is that they were able, like, no meeting before, no cell phones, no radio communication, nothing. They were like, yeah, let's circle back, let's go up from behind. Like, they were able to coordinate that, and coordinate a kick line, and coordinate a fucking song. I'm sorry, like a fucking battle technique? What's that word? A battle technique, choreography, and a song with no prep? With no prep. Like, what do y'all do for a living? Because it should be this. You're phenomenal at this. I just think that's really impressive. And the police had all this time to plan, and they still didn't have their shit together. They gave a whole show to the cops. The cops should have paid. The cops should have been charged an entrance fee. Trigger warning, some slurs are used in these quotes. I probably should have put other trigger warnings on here. Sorry about that. Over the next several nights, gay activists continue to gather near Stonewall, taking advantage of the moment and trying to spread information and build a community that would fuel the growth of the gay rights movement through police officers. Though police officers also returned, the mood was less confrontational, with more isolated skirmishes replacing large-scale riots of the weekend. So over the next coming days, like, stuff was still happening, but not as intense. And then news coverage started a few days later. Gay activists started to protest that newspaper coverage because they didn't like the verbiage that was used and felt like it was like slanted stories and not correct and what have you. And then we're going to look at some of these. The cops didn't want to baby bruise again. No, exactly. So you can see, I'm not going to read this title, but Nest rated Queen Bees Are Stinging Mad. This is the cheesiest title I can like possibly imagine. Like, I see why this is protested just because it's so cheesy. Like, stinging mad. Like, it's very much the 60s. And then about a year later, on the first, or not about, exactly a year later, on the first anniversary of the police raid on Stonewall, gay activists in New York organized the first Pride. It wasn't called Pride back then, but this is what Pride came from. This is why Pride is in June, and this is like on the Pride route in New York, I believe. It was the Liberation March to cap off the city's first gay Pride Week. To several hundred people began marching up 6th Ave towards Central Park. That was that map we looked at the beginning. Supporters from the crowd joined them. The procession eventually stretched 15 blocks, encompassing thousands of people, and then this spread to other cities. So Pride Month, this is the first Pride Month, was from the anniversary of the Stonewall riot. They gave an editor a raise for nailing the headline. So yeah, all of the other ones started coming from this, and now we know Pride is huge. So this is the first Pride. They called it the Gay Liberation Day. The first Pride Parade, or Gay Liberation March as it was called, took place in New York on the anniversary of the Stonewall riots. So you can see here is the crowd here. It looks like it's mostly men, which I find interesting. Maybe they're just at the front because of, all the things. So the lasting impact was Stonewall, and the spirit of the 60s rebellion spread to the LGBT people in New York and beyond. For the first time, found themselves part of a community. Although the gay rights movement didn't begin at Stonewall, the uprising did mark a turning point. Earlier, homophile, meaning like love gay, organizations at the McShenty Society gave more radical groups like the Gay Liberation Front and the Gay Activist Alliance. My mom's friend, who I've literally known since I was like so young, was in this like way back in the day. He's like old now, and he used to be in that. He's so cool and has taught me so much. I love him. I think there should be cops at Pride just so we can humiliate them like this. The spirit of the season. Maybe instead, I have a better idea. Instead of cops at Pride, because like, you know how they do like Civil War battle reenactments, but it's like the people are just wearing the outfits, like they're actors, like it's not like real guns and stuff like that. I think we should reenact this with people dressed as like sexy cops. Like we can make it fun. I think that would be fun. And we can have the allies dress as the sexy cops, and like that can be reparations. I'll go. I'm down. The chat is kind of quiet. I'm wondering if anyone else is into this idea. Drag cops. Okay, so the Stonewall Inn today. I like it. Yeah, I'm kind of into it. So in 2016, Barack Obama designated the Stonewall Inn as a national monument. So this is why the national park people were like dancing and had that little video, was because it's a national park monument. So it's like protected. This is what it looks like today. You can see it's like different. Like it closed and then it reopened and then it became a monument and now it's like a historic site. We love the idea. We were just too stunned to speak. I'm glad. I think it's a really good idea. That's so recent. Yeah, it is very recent. Okay, that makes much more sense. Now we're going to play the game. It's time for the game. Okay, I'm putting the Nearpod in the chat again. There you go. Help me pick, like, the gayest theme we can. Definitely not space or sports. Like, they're all so naturey. Not carnival. Maybe beach? Space? Oh, we do think space? I guess the glitter. What about jungle with the flowers? What are we thinking? Just definitely not sports. Space? I see 2 space. Space is very gay. See? I'm glad I asked because I didn't know fucking clearly. Okay, space! Okay. We're playing the game. I tried to make it only medium hard. Go ahead and pick your little character, people. I'm glad we all agree on space. Sports is gay in a homophobic way. I get it now. It took me a second, but I get it now. God, look at you all. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. May the odds be ever in your favor. I'm going to get McDonald's later. I'm pretty excited about it. Leather daddies and lesbians instead of cops. I wish there was, like, an alternative to the police for just, like, crowd control. Because, like, crowd control is a needed service. Like, to have a large event with tons of people, especially with a march in a major metropolitan area, like, you need crowd control. Like you need somebody there. The National Park Service. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We just expand the National Park Service to have, like, a for hire crowd control. Like, if you're having an event, a boomer mom would work as crowd control. That's what I mean. It doesn't even have to be, like, a violent crowd control. You just need to have designated people that have, like, basic safety training and, like, know what's going on and where everything is and have communication with each other. Like, it's, like, I'm talking from that perspective of crowd control. Just to, like, keep everybody safe and organized. Abortion clinic escorts as crowd control. My mom made my dad do that with her. Be the escorts. My dad's, like, big. I don't know if y'all have seen the TikToks with him, but he's, like, 6'2" and big. Roller derby lesbians. Another great idea. Give Abby Lee Miller a megaphone and she'll get that crowd in order. Everyone's going to be on the bottom of the pyramid, I tell you that much. Sports arenas have people working the crowd and no cops, so it's def possible. Yeah, like event staff. But, like, for outside. For an event. Can't be any type of law enforcement. Is anyone else still joining the game? I haven't seen the number go up from 15 in a second, so I'm assuming everybody that wants to be on there is on there. But I'm going to drop it in the chat one more time, just in case anybody. And Ambi Moon, that was an amazing first-time chat. Also, thanks to everyone who followed me. Bella Boy, Little Ash, all the things. No cops or corporations at Pride. I saw a fucking Bank of America Pride float. I was like, get the fuck out of here, Bank of America. What are you doing? All right, I'm starting the game. What did we learn about today? This is a shorter stream. I've only been on here for an hour and 25 minutes. I guess it was only 40 slides. Normally I do like 50 or 60. Look at it. It seems like most of us got that one right. Not Stoned Bar. The Stoned Bar Uprising. I thought the Comfort Inn Uprising was the best answer. The Comfort Inn. Who was opening gay-friendly bars? I think there's 2 right answers to this one, so don't stress too much if you are deciding between 2. I think when the stream glitched, it started the timer over. I don't think so, because I started it. It's only 9 right now. Because I started, like, yeah, I think it's right. It also, my thing says I have 0 frame drops, and that's not true. Like, that's a lie. That's a confirmed lie. Yeah, 2 correct ones. The mafia and organized crime groups. because that's really the same thing. Not exactly, but one describes the other. Where was the Stonewall Inn located? New Jersey. Did I misspell New Jersey? Nope. New York. Oh, all y'all got that right fast as fuck. Okay, period. That was literally like 1 second. Which word best describes the bar? High-end, grimy, sterile, or overpriced? I love how quiet the chat is when we're playing the game because everyone's so focused on the game that is normally in the chat. Yeah, that one has 2 right answers too. Grimy and overpriced. Are we into the 2 correct answers thing? I thought we might be. It makes it easier. Look at Earth back here. The police were called to the scene. The police were called to the scene. Y'all quick with it. False. Is the Nearpod game similar to Kahoot where you get more points the faster you answer? Yes, it is. I believe so. How old were Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera when they met? Y'all are so fast. Holy shit. Oh my god. Who did the police call for backup? The Tactical Patrol Force. How did the crowd fight back against the police? I like the music. It was a kick line. Imagine a poetry slam. That would also be funny. I could get down with that. What is the only government entity Miss Redacted currently trusts? If anyone votes A, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know anything about me. The 21 Jump Street style poetry slam. Cynthia died for our sins. What was the first blank sets off from Stonewall? Answer choice D is interesting. I don't remember picking that or like thinking of that, but I'm intrigued by my own idea. Alrighty, we have a Betty Crocker in number 1, Apples. Let me turn the music off. Apples in number 2, Dusty Croissant, Quarter Life Crisis, Christopher Adams, Emriel, who also subscribed today, thank you. Caroline, Megan, Sydney, Ilona, Maria, Max, Heather, Rip, Pops, and Rebecca Bauer. Dang, good job, Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker, homemaker. Snap, snap, snaps. We love to see it. Our gay powers made us to do the questions fast. This was my highest ranking games of all time. Holy shit, 4th place. Not bad, not bad. Alrighty. So, happy Pride, everybody. I have this here for memes, notes, chatting, whatever. If anybody has ideas for other streams that you would like me to do, feel free to put it on here. I have a note in my phone, and I will take notes on it. My mom just said, call me on the way home. It's 9 p.m. Where do you think I am? This is my highest ranking of all time. Oh my god, the little emoji, guys. Thank you. Would you be able to do the streams on the occupation of Alcatraz, the Chinese Exclusion Act, the March from Selma, and the Chicano movement? Definitely at least some of those things. Probably not all of them, but some of them. I submitted the story you kept missing in the chat with tons of extra detail in the Google form. Thank you. I felt bad that I wasn't like a part of that, but I didn't want you all to just be sitting here while I like caught up with it, so I'm excited to read it later. Okay, let me figure out which one of these I'm going to add to the list. So the Chinese Exclusion Act, I feel like I want to do more than that. Maybe like the railroad immigration and then the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Gentleman's Agreement and how it affected immigration and workforce and all that stuff. Like I would do more than just the act. That's not like enough of a thing. The Alcatraz one. Can you do a stream about the Black Panthers? I know it was mentioned a few times, but I don't know what it is / was. So I did one and it's on YouTube and you can watch it. Let me find for you. Videos. All my streams are on YouTube. Let me find it. The Black Panther Party. She's right here. Here is the Black Panther Party stream. There you go. Asked and answered. I love when I can provide great service to people. What about the Radium Girls? Oh, right. That was another one. Triangle Shirtwaist and the Radium Girls. Yeah, I don't really know a ton about that, but I want to learn. Radium Girls. Thank you, Miss Redacted. You're welcome. Have you done one on the Holocaust? So I have not, and I like to stay focused on like U.S. history. Not that other history isn't important. U.S. history is just what I know more about and what I'm more passionate about. So I just don't really want to get into international history right now. I might later though. John Brown's Raid. Ooh, that's another good one. I like more modern stuff, but John Brown's Raid is a really good one. I'm interested in Alcatraz. I don't know much about Alcatraz. On the war on drugs, I also have a war on drugs one. Okay, I have two actually. Kind of. Okay, so I have the history of marijuana legislation in the U.S. I'm going to put that in the chat right now. There's the history of marijuana legislation, and then I have a war on drugs one. War on drugs. This was not that long ago, actually. This was a couple weeks ago. I love that I have enough of these that, like, some of them already exist. You have no idea how much that's fueling my fire right now. I'm fond of gay people. Oh my god, this dog. Rate the historical accuracy of American Girl dolls. I kind of want to. Aren't a bunch of the American Girl dolls, like, I don't know, are all of them from time periods that I know about? Would you do the Clinton impeachment? Maybe. But, like, in my teaching of it, Monica Lewinsky is, like, we stand. Like, I would think about it. Suffragette movement. That'd be a good one. And to talk about, like, how, like, shady and racist a lot of them were. Suffragette movement. So this is what I have and what Molly the American Girl doll was in World War II. That would be kind of funny. I have, Julie is up here in my closet. My Julie doll. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking for next week. I already did the history of birth control. So I'm thinking about maybe Snowden. Want to learn more about the Snowden situation. Or not next week, because next week, well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Actually, I lied. Because Evie, who sometimes makes slides for us, is Linda Tripp even still alive? I don't know. Evie, who sometimes makes slides for us, is going to be here next week. So next week, we're going to be doing Monday and Thursday, and Evie will be here, and they'll be doing some topics. And I don't really know what's going to happen. We need to get all that worked out and whatever. Can you do the Chappaquiddick Dick accident and let me give you the details from my grandpa? He's a primary source. What is that? Like, I don't even know what that is. I also have it written down on my list, but I don't know what it is. Like, am I uneducated? Probably. What is this? I've apparently Googled it before. Interesting. Ted Kennedy had a DUI in Martha's Vineyard and killed a woman. Very interesting. Oh, I just realized the chat is still broken. She's been broken a minute. Let me fix her, and we'll hang out a little bit longer. Okay. Let me see if anyone else has added anything. You've touched upon Watergate, right? Yes, there is a Watergate episode. I'll put it in the chat. I love that some of these already exist. Watergate. Watergate was not my fave girly, though. Like, to be honest, she was not my fave girly that I ever did. I, like, wasn't prepared enough for her. And I just, like, wasn't thrilled with it. There's Watergate. There you go. There you go. And I have these in, like, playlists on here as well. That's not what I wanted. You can see all my videos are about, like, John and Kate plus 8. Could you do one on school fire that in Chicago that changed National Fire Codes? I can't remember the name, but I'll find it. Yeah, let me write it down. God, I, like, can't use my phone without my nail. Okay. Do I have my playlist right? Probably not. Here's the history one. That was my first stream where my camera was messed up and my hair looked so weird. Fuck, you can't see like the whole titles. There you go. So here are all my history ones. The Vietnam War, Atlanta Washerwomen, Black Panther Party, MK Ultra, I think, History of Marijuana. Oh no, that's MK Ultra. What is this? Oh, this is Operation Paperclip. That one was also just kind of okay. I don't know how I feel about that one. Please do the Johnny and Kate plus 8 divorce. I don't think I can. History of Marijuana, MK Ultra, How Sex Workers Built the West, Nixon, the War on Drugs, History of Birth Control and Abortion, Roasting Ronald Reagan, which I have accidentally posted twice. We love that for me. Oh, it's because one of them I uploaded the wrong video and then deleted it because I'm an idiot. Oh, and someone's talking about a documentary. Okay. Let me see if anyone had anything. Y'all with this fucking meme of this dog. Ronald Reagan needs to be roasted twice anyway. Alrighty. I'm excited. We have a lot of new exciting stuff coming up. My back hurts. I'm just gonna kind of lay here like this. We live, we laugh, we love. Alright, this was great. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming. See you on Wednesday. Wednesday, we'll be learning about something, and then next week, we'll be learning about something else. Let me actually pick a topic for Wednesday right now. That's what I was doing, and then I started thinking about next week and got distracted. So I'm thinking Wednesday, maybe we'll do Snowden. That's calling to me right now. I want to learn more about Snowden. Snowden is calling to me the most out of everything on here. Also, the other thing that's calling to me is the rise of the suburbs and automobiles and redlining. That is also calling to me. We already did these. I just have San Francisco written down. I don't know what that is. Alrighty, this was great. Peace and love, all the things. Have a good night. Get enough sleep. Drink enough water. Love you so much. Bye-byes.